I'll be working at the Air Force Academy for about a year, working as an admissions counselor. So my job is to talk to high schools like you and make sure they get into the academy, make sure they're doing all the things they need necessary to be more competitive. After this, I will go on to Goodfellow Air Force Base, which is in Texas, to study intelligence. My career field at the Air Force is an intelligence officer. So I'll be working closely with people in the Pentagon, CIA, FBI, embassies, things like that, working with foreign diplomacies and things like that. And after this, probably I plan on going to graduate school after from George Washington University on the academy STEM. So a lot of opportunities that I have to tell you about today. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is our senior leadership at the Air Force Academy up top. It's kind of hard to read, I apologize. We have Lieutenant General Mike Gould. He's our superintendent. He's a 3-star general. He's like the president of a university. And then down below we have Brigadier General Langell, Commandant of Cadets. He controls all of the military aspects of our training. Brigadier General Bourne, the female 1-star general, she controls all of our academics. She's our dean. And then we have Dr. New, Director of Athletics, and Colonel Janisch, Director of Admissions, who I work for. She's the big boss for me. Next slide, please.
Greetings from Colorado Springs, home of the U.S. Air Force Academy. As your briefer mentioned, I'm Lieutenant General Mike Gould, Superintendent of the Academy, where we educate, train, and inspire tremendous young men and women from across America to become leaders of character, leaders who are prepared and motivated to lead the United States Air Force in service to our nation. As you'll see in this presentation over the next 15 to 20 minutes, we accomplished this noble mission over the course of 4 tough years of rigorous professional military training, stimulating academic experiences, and high-level competition on the athletic fields. And through it all, we centered the entire experience around character and leadership development. The demands are tough, the challenges are daunting, but the rewards are many. The most exciting part is that if you graduate from the academy, you not only receive a diploma from what is arguably the finest university in the world, but you also will earn a commission as an officer in the world's most powerful and respected air, space, and cyberspace force. If you're up to the challenge, apply today. We've been waiting for you.
So basically, the Air Force Academy's mission is to develop officers of characters, both men and women. That's all you need to get from that slide. So kind of hard to read, but we have some impressive rankings to show you. Since 2001, we've been the number 2 aeronautical and astronautical engineering institutions in the nation. Does anyone know who number 1 is by chance? No, it's actually Embry-Riddle. They're based out in Arizona and Florida. And the reason why they're number 1 is because they're a graduate institution. The Air Force Academy is an undergraduate institution, so you graduate with a bachelor's. However, a lot of our graduates end up going to Embry-Riddle to study aeronautical or astronautical engineering, so we actually attribute to their number 1 spot. Okay. Also, number 10 undergraduate institution in 2011 by Forbes, also very impressive. And number 5, professors making themselves most successful. Come on in. By Princeton's review. And the number 5, having the professors being successful, I can definitely attest to that. First day of school, all of our professors and teachers will give out their home telephone numbers, email address, cell phone numbers that we can call them at any time during the night, and they'll be available to us. So something that we don't have, that we have that very other colleges have. Next slide. So at the Academy, we focus on the whole person development by focusing on 3 pillars: academics, athletics, and military. Come on in. You can stay anywhere you want. And an overarching theme of character and leadership. So if you can try and see this is the demographics of the class of 2016 that applied. It's definitely getting more competitive every year. Out of about 12,000 applicants, about 1,000 were roughly accepted. A lot of them were number 1 in their class, letter in one sport or two. And this is their average GPA and SAT scores. About 31s and ACTs, high 600s, low 700s on their SATs is mainly our target athletes. So once you get into the academy, we have world-class facilities. We have very small classes to begin with. Our ratio is ranging from 9 to 1. And so that keeps the classes really small. The teachers definitely get a chance to know their students really well and vice versa. Like I said, on the first day of school, your teachers will give you their home phone numbers, email address, cell phone numbers. I was working on an electrical engineering project as a sophomore. I called my teacher at 10 p.m. that night. He worked on it with me till 11:30 p.m. I went to school at 6:30. I asked him again once I got to school. He helped me from 7 to 9 o'clock that morning. So, they're definitely dedicated. They want to work for you. They want to help you succeed. And so that's something that really outshines, every other school that I know and I've studied as a high school student. Also, 63% of our faculty is military and 37% is civilian. But all of them have a minimum of a master's degree, if not a PhD. Approximately half of our faculty already have a PhD or are working towards their PhD. So that definitely gives the students a different type of focus. They definitely know what they're going to be doing once they graduate, how what they're learning is applied later on in their careers. For me, my personal mentor is also an intelligence officer. He worked as an attaché in China, Japan, in the embassies and other government organizations. And he really helped me focus in on my major with what I'll be doing later in life. And he's a lifelong mentor, so I'll definitely be calling him, throughout the years, and he'll be helping me. Next slide, please. So our academic core curriculum, as you can see, we have 27 hours of basic sciences and 18 hours of engineering. So once you graduate, you'll have about 102 semester hours of just your core classes. That being said, once you graduate from the Air Force Academy, you'll graduate with a Bachelor's of Science. For me, I graduated with a Bachelor's of Science in Political Science because I was a political science major, but because I had so many science and engineering classes, I graduated with a Bachelor's of Science. Most students will take from 18 to 21 credit hours per semester. A typical civilian college university will take anywhere between 14, 15. So we're a little heavy on the course loads, but it also means that they're really working hard. So these are the majors you can take advantage of. 32 majors and 3 minors. I'm going to tell you a little story. I'm Korean by nature. My mom was really making me focus on the medical field, things like that. So I was like, okay, the Air Force Academy is going to send me to med school. Why don't I do something medical related? So I was actually a biochemistry major. If you look under basic sciences under chemistry. And 2 semesters in, chemistry courses are really hard. I'm terrible at physical chemistry, and I realized, this isn't the life for me, and so that's when I met my mentor, and I became a political science major. So I majored in political science and minored in Chinese, and Chinese is one of 7 languages that are offered. Let's see, Spanish, Chinese, Japanese, Portuguese, Arabic, German, French, and Russian. Those are the strategic languages that you can minor in. And I loved my experience. I went to China 3 times because of my major, and I'll tell you more about it on the next slide. So on top of a heavy academic curriculum, the Air Force Academy is all about producing officers of character. And being an officer, you're going to be leading hundreds of people under you once you graduate. That being said, you need to understand how different people are, what cultures they come from, the different walks of life they come from. And so we really like to prize our international programs so they can broaden their perspectives and horizons. We have 800 plus international programs every year that cadets can take advantage of. 800. So that includes study abroad, where you go to another civilian university for a semester. That's what I did. Semester exchange, where you go to a different service academy, like in Japan, Portugal, Brazil, things like that. Language immersion is where you spend 4 to 6 weeks in the summer, and you go to school for about 4 to 6 hours learning the language. and you take the weekend to go travel in other places in that country. Cultural immersion, that's something a little different. You don't have to minor to go to cultural immersion. You can write up a proposal, and if it looks good, it looks like you've done your homework, then the Air Force Academy will send you to that country on the academy side, and you'll get paid to do all of these things. And then academy visits is also the same thing, similar as semester exchange. Next slide, please. So as a cadet, I was able to go to China 3 times on the academy's dime, while the Air Force paid me to study in these different countries. First city I went to was Nanjing, China. I studied at Nanjing University for about 6 months. I went to a civilian university. I went to school from 8 to 4. I traveled. The school gave me about $2,000 to travel on the weekends, and 2,000 US dollars is like $1 million in Chinese money. So I studied and traveled a lot. And then I went to Lubu, China. That's in the Lijiang province, which is the southwestern part of China. It's definitely different than the things on the cities on the west coast. It's definitely poor. The people are different, and it really expanded my view on the different cultures. And then I also went to Beijing and Xi'an, where I'm in the traditional clothes there. So amazing opportunity, it's a blast, and definitely learned a lot. So. And on top of international programs, cadets can take advantage of something called cadet academic research. That's like the same thing as taking an internship on your junior and senior year of your college years. This is a chance where you can take what you've learned in your majors classes and apply it directly to a real Air Force operation or a corporate environment. So for about 4 to 6 weeks, you take your summer and go to Boeing, for instance, and study and manage their programs there for about 4 weeks. Or you go to a real Air Force base and operate a satellite, something like that. My roommate that went to China with me studied management, and she was able to take her management program thesis and apply it to the Boeing management program for 6 weeks. So she was out here in LA getting paid, having a driver. It was an amazing experience for her. Something that we also do is our Falcon Sat 5, which is a satellite, the only undergraduate built and operated satellite in the world. Cadets actually take the satellite, operate it, they shoot the images, receive the images, analyze it, and this is used for a real Air Force operation. So this isn't a joke or just a project. It's something that's used for real. It's a $12 million investment that the Academy spends every year for cadets to take advantage of. This is something that's very unique to us, and something that really hones in their focus and lets them know what they're doing later on in life. Next slide. And on top of that, we also encourage further studies once you graduate. So about 10% of our class of 2012 went on to a graduate studies program. A friend of mine is studying at University of Hawaii right now. Another friend of mine is at Oxford as a Rhodes Scholar. As you can see up top, we've produced 37 Rhodes Scholars in the last 54 years the Academy has been established. So that's something amazing. That something is amazing. If you work at the Academy, you can definitely get the rewards that you want. It's not an easy experience, but people that are motivated definitely go after their dreams, and the Academy is more than happy to rear them along the process. Next slide. And of course, we are a military academy, so physical education and your fitness is something that is very important. You need about 10 courses of physical education classes in order to graduate. So in the first couple of years, you have to take some mandatory classes. Guys, you have to take boxing. Females, you have to take self-defense. And we both have to take something called unarmed combat. Does everyone know, like, mixed martial arts, UFC moves, things like that? High school students do, right? All right. That's the stuff that we actually learned. My personal instructor was a black belt jiu-jitsu. So I learned moves directly from him and was able to, actually use it. It was a lot of fun. And then you also have to take swimming and water survival classes. If you can't swim, that's okay. You don't have to be a good swimmer in order to take swimming classes. They'll adjust you to your skill level. And water survival is just basic things that you might need to do in an emergency situation. float up your uniform so you can float in water, how to hold your breath, things like that. And then once you're done with that, you take physical development, which they teach you how to properly work out and lift weights. It's mainly for guys, but girls have to take it too. And then you can take your elective classes. So for me, I took scuba and rock climbing for my physical education classes, and there were a lot of them. Next slide, please. And then twice a year, you have to take a fitness test that tests your aerobic and anaerobic abilities. So the aerobic fitness test is a 1.5 times run. And this is the minimum that you have to get on the corner, and the maximum. It's out of 500 points, and you need 250 points to pass. And then we have our physical fitness test, which consists of pull-ups, long jumps, crunches, push-ups, and a 600-meter run. And you also need 250 minimum in order to pass. That being said, if you get over a 451 and out of either of these categories, you validate yourself into taking the test next semester, so you only have to take that test once a year. So definitely something that our cadets shoot for. Next slide. We also have a really strong intercollegiate program. We are a Division I school, so we have about 37 intercollegiate intercollegiate teams, and among those, about 17 of them are NCAA. We are also the _1 athletics opportunities for women in the nation. So ladies, if you're looking to play a sport, this is definitely the place for you. Does anyone recognize what this is? It's kind of hard to see. We're actually the current title holders of the Commander-in-Chief's Trophy, and that's what you get when you beat both West Point and Navy, Annapolis, in their football games, and we won last year. So President Obama gave the trophy back to us. All right. Although not every cadet is an intercollegiate athlete, every cadet is an athlete. And so if you're not in a collegiate sport, you'll be playing intramurals with your fellow classmates. In the fall, we have basketball, flag football, ultimate frisbee, tennis, volleyball, and boxing, flicker ball. In the spring, we have soccer, softball, volleyball, racquetball, cross country, handball, and rugby, to name a few. But there are a lot, should be a lot more. Next slide. This is the breakdown of our cadet wing organization. So right now, we have approximately 4,000 students total. That's about 1,000 students in each class. And those 4,000 is broken down into 4 groups, groups 1, 2, 3, and 4. And each group has 10 squadrons, ranging from squadrons 1 to 40. So I was in the best squadron there ever was, squadron 32. I was a roadrunner. Next slide, please. And these are some of the pictures that we have with my squad mates. Up top, this was when I was a freshman at a football game. This was Halloween. So something that we do every year, every day almost, is march to lunch. We have formations on Mondays and Fridays. And on Halloween, we like to dress up. And so a lot of people like to see us being goofy. And then up top, those 4 pictures are when I got my class rank for ring dance. And that was also a very happy moment. On top of that, this is probably something that you guys are all wondering about. Basic cadet training. Is everyone kind of scared for that? This is kind of the one that everyone's tentative about. Nothing to worry. So once you become accepted into the academy, basic cadet training, or first beast like we call, starts in June. And the first beast isn't as physical as you might think. It's a lot of learning about the military courtesies. We're breaking you down to build you back up. So you're learning how to wear your uniform. You're learning how to salute. You're learning how to talk to, military personnel. Teach you how to march. Things like that. And of course, we have our famous room inspections. That's always, a fun time. And then, next slide, please. Second beast where it gets more physical. It's held at Jack's Valley, which is a military complex, a